Alright, so welcome back to another video, and now we are gonna create contact form, and this is the final project. So we want to create in this video, and basically this is a responsive. If you open in the mobile version, it's gonna be look like this. Alright, so the first is we are gonna working with the mobile version, and after that we are gonna create the desktop version. So yeah, before we are going to move to the code, I just want to explain what we have in this project. So yeah, basically we have a big section in here. The first is the form, and the second is the contact information. Basically, I create a 3-column using display grid, and this is going to be one from here, and second from here to here, and the third here from here. All right, so if I reload the contact form in here, we have a little animation, and the animation is going to be come from animate.css, and this is I'm using, which is check in the box. All right, this is animate I'm using. Of course, you can use any image you want, and yeah, but I like to using check in the box like that. And of course, you can download the animate.css file and put in your HTML, or you can use CDN. This is I'm using. So you can just copy and paste to your HTML. For the icon, I'm using Font Awesome icon. So you can go to fontawesome.com and just create account and go to kits right here, and create new kits, and you can just copy your kits right here. Okay, and in here. Okay, so yeah, just starting out the code. All right, so I'm using VS Code, so you can use any text editor you like. Just create a folder called contact form, and create index.html, close the sidebar, and now let's generate HTML with explanation, and enter. And it's so small, so let's make that little bigger by using Control plus. I think, oh, it's more bigger. Yeah, it's fine. So let's change the title to contact form, just contact us. And yeah, before I forget, so let's link our where is that animate.css. So let's copy that out and paste in here. Just open the link tag and paste in here, and we need to the font awesome. So let's copy that out and paste in here. So what next? Create a custom CSS. So open the link tag, and it should be style.css. We don't have yet, so let's create another file, style.css. All right, cool. Yeah. So basically, I'm using live server, which is VS Code extension. So right here, if I reload, localhost 5500, we have the contact us in here. So let's make that smaller, like so. Here we go. Yeah, I think it's fine. So let's try to h1 and say hello, save, and we get a hello. Pretty cool, right? So we don't need the hello. So in here, let's create a section with ID heading and create a container and heading grid. Okay, so let's create a div again with the class heading dash wrap and give a h1, and this should be get in touch. And let's give a paragraph and just copy this paragraph in here and paste in here. Here we go, and Control Z to make it, yes, so you can see everything. And yeah, I think that's it for the heading right here. So now let's create the form. So under in here, let's create a section with ID section with ID call, let's say just form box, and let's grab everything inside a container. So let's create a class again, say form box and form box dash grid. All right, so inside a form box grid, we are gonna create a two big section. The first is should be the contact information, and second it should be the form input. So let's create form info. We are gonna give a name form info, and second it should be form input. All right, so in here let's create say head tree. All right, let's say head tree and contact information. So let's give a head tree and paste in right here contact information. Cool. Let's give another list, and inside in here we have a list item, and we have just copy the information in here, paste in here, and create li again, just paste in the number, and email. All right, so if I save now, and this is what we have. All right, so yeah, cool. Now let's work with the form input, which is right here. So let's create a head tree and give a text should be send as a message. And in here, let's create the form. Oh yeah, we don't need the action because we don't work with the backend. So let's create a paragraph, and inside in here, let's create a label, and it should be the first name right here. So let's give a label, say first underscore name, and should be first name, right? So give a input right here, and tags, cool, and give a name. Let's say first name, and a placeholder, and the placeholder which is inside the input right here, say first name, and dot dot dot. All right, so yeah, if I click the send message, we have basically we have please fill out this field, which is the error if we don't typing something in the input fields. So to give a checking something like this, you can use require. All right, I think we're done with the first name, so let's just copy right here and paste down here, and it should be last name, right? Say last name, and the text, it should be last name, and it should be last, and placeholder, let's say last name. Save, and now let's create another input, which is now it should be email. So let's paste again in here. It should be email. So email, and say email address. Oh, yeah. And input type, it should be email, and the name, let's give a email as well. All right. Yeah, for the placeholder, let's get rid of this, and now it should be email here. It's capital here. Here we go. Next, let's create the text area right here. So it should be the message. So message, and let's change that to your message, and it's not input, so let's get rid of this, and it should be text area. All right, the name should be message, and let's get rid of everything in here, and let's add required. So next, let's create the button. I give a paragraph in here, say label. I think we don't need the label, so let's create a button. Say the type, it should be, why I do this? Type, it should be submit, and the text should be send message. All right, cool. Save, and let's take a look what we have for now. All right, so this is what we have, and yeah, so now let's move to the CSS right here. Just make sure everything is work. So let's select everything and change the background to something like red. Save, and here we go. So of course we don't need the background red, it's so really weird. Let's give red. So let's remove the margin 0 and padding 0, and the box sizing, let's set to box sizing for the box. All right, save, and here we go. All right, so before that, I just want to create a root, which is we are gonna create a variable in here. Let's say primary color, and what color we are gonna using is 3598 and B6. All right, so let's create another variable, which is secondary color, and we are gonna using 2cc 4ed. All right, so before that, I just want to using Google font, which is Source Sans Pro right here. So let's create add, and let's just import to CSS. So let's import in here, and to use that, you can copy this right here and paste in the wherever you want. Let's paste to the body, and here we go. Save, and now we have the font let's close the Google font, and here we go. All right, so remember we have a container, right? Let's see, container, let's have container again in here. So let's styling the container. Let's see, class container, and give a maximal width to something like 60 rem and margin 0 auto to make that center, and let's say background red, and just make sure it's work. Here we go, it's working. So do this. Okay, so let's select another list and let's remove the list style, which is the dot, say none. Okay, and let's select the heading right now and give a background to primary color. Save, and now we have the background right now, right here. Okay, so now let's change the, let's give a height to 20 rem. Here we go. Let's select the heading wrap. It should be heading wrap. Heading wrap. Cool. Let's change the color to white and give a padding top and bottom 3 rem, left and right 0. And let's say text align center. Give a maximal width to something like 20 rem. 20 rem. And make that center, so margin 0 auto. Save, and this is what we have. All right, so scroll down. So now let's start styling the h1 right here. So what the class is, heading wrap h1, and let's give a margin bottom 1.5 rem. Yeah, and change the size to rem. Cool. Yeah, just make that. I want to using another font, so let's search for, say, Google font again, and forget that, sorry about that, guys. Let's looking for Coda caption, just right here. Add that out, and what the first we are using Source Sense Pro, right? So let's looking for right here. So add that out again. Wait, so now let's import this right here. And paste in, let's just change the import, and now you can be able to using the code caption font. So back to make that smaller again, like that. So now let's change the font right here. Okay, cool. Let's styling the paragraph, which is heading wrap paragraph, and what we are gonna do in here is just change the size to something like 1 rem. And as you know, in the final project we have just a little line in here, and we are gonna create that using pseudo element. So let's do in paragraph. So heading wrap paragraph, and say before. So in here, let's say content nothing, and position it should be absolute, and give a width in something like 2.7 RAM, and the height 7 pixel. Alright, so let's give a background so we can see, say secondary color. Save, and here we go. So to make that center, so we can using left 50% and say transform in here, say translate minus 50%. Save, and here we go. So let's make that push to the top. So we need to give a top in here. Let's say minus 0.7 RAM. It should be gone because yeah, we need to create position relative in the paragraph right here. So it should be work. So next, let's styling the contact info right here. So let's select, let's give a comment, so form info, and just checking what the class we have. Where's that? Form input, no form info. So let's select that form info. What we need to do is change the background to something like secondary color. Here we go, and let's change the color to white and give a padding to RAM and text align center. Here we go. So let's styling the hash tree. Say form info hash tree. Change the font size to 1.5 RAM and give a margin bottom, say 1 RAM. Yeah, here we go. Cool. So before we styling the list right here, I forget the icon. All right. So let's back to the index.html, and where is that? Right here. So let's open e tag. Let's give a space e tag and create a class. It should be fast fa dash map dash marker dash alt. Okay, and for the pawn we are gonna using, where's I again with the class of fa fast and fa dash mobile dash alt. It should be dash right here. Okay, so let's create again in here, say class. It should be fast fa dash envelope. So now save. So let's take a look. Yeah, it's cool, it's working. So let's back to right here and let's styling the list. So form info ULLI, and in here let's give a margin top, say 0.5 RAM, and say display flex, and align item, say center. Here we go. Let's see. let's styling the icon. So say form info ulli I, which is the icon. So let's give a background to white. All right, and let's change the color to a secondary color, and here we go. Let's give a width and height, so just say 2 rem. Here we go. So now let's make that center, so we can use display flex in here. Let's say flex direction, right? Flex direction column, and align item center, align item center, and say justify content center again. So it should be centered. We need to give a border radius, so give a border radius something like 50%. Here we go, pretty awesome. Let's give a margin right, so we have space, and say 0.5 rem. Awesome, pretty awesome. Let's see. Yeah, cool. So now let's styling the form input under in here. So let's comment that out. Let's give a command, say form input. Remember, we have class form dash input, and in here let's give a padding top and bottom 0, left and right 2 rem. Form. Now we have space. All right, so let's give a background to white. Where's that? White, and scroll down. All right, so now let's styling the h3 right here. Okay, so it should be form input h3, and give a margin 1.5 rem, and 0, 2 rem for the bottom, and left 0. Let's see. All right, basically we create a margin top 1.5 rem, and margin right 0, margin bottom 2 rem, margin left 0. Okay, that's what happening basically. All right, so let's change the font size to something like 1.3 rem to make it that little bigger. And yeah, basically I don't like color something like really black, something like this. I believe that 0, 0, 0. So let's change that to something like, let's say 3, 3, 3. Okay, yeah, it's more look nice, I think. So form input, let's say form, which is everything inside. Where is my form? In here. Okay. All right, so what we are gonna do in here is just create a display grid, and just say grid gap, which is space between the item inside the grid. Let's say 1 em, and let's create a grid template column, say template columns. Let's say repeat 2 times 1 fraction. And now we have see what we have right here. Yeah, cool. We have a 2 column. The first it should be here until here, second here until here. Okay, so Now let's styling the label, which is form input label, and label, it should be the label right here, first name, last name, in here and in here. Okay, so let's say let's styling that. So let's give a font weight to something like bold, and let's change the color to 222, and give a line height to 1.6, and just change the opacity to 0.8. Save, and let's see. We cannot see that. There we go. So let's styling the input, which is input field right here. So we need to do is form dash input, and let's go to form, form input, and we are gonna say form input, form, and text area, because we are gonna select everything, the input and the text area right here. Okay, so let's give a width to 100%. Save, and now it's more cleaned. Okay, all right, so say before that, let's styling just the input. Okay, so let's say form dash input, and let's styling the input right here, just the input, not the text area. Okay, so let's give a height to 2.5 rem, and now we have height, right? And say text indent, let's say 1 em. Text indent is basically just space. I just want to show you right now. In here, when I'm typing something, you don't have space, all right? When I add text indent right here and save, and now we have the space. Okay, that's all about the text indent is. Okay, so let's changing the border. We need to 0.5 pixel solid, and the color, it should be 149cc 567. Okay, save. Here we go. We have a border blue for every single input. Okay, so let's styling the text area. So let's copy the input and paste in here. Now we need the text area. Here we go. And we need to give a height to 6 rem. And we don't need text indent in here, just give a padding, I think. Okay, so we need to make the email and the message to big input. Okay, you see that from here to here. And so how do we do that? So let's back to index.html, and we are gonna add class in the message and the email. So let's give a class in here and say full, and give a class in here and say full. And of course, in the first project, in the final project, I mean, sorry about that. So we have the button in here and the full as well. So let's create a class in here and it should be full like that. So back to the contact, back to the project, and style. So let's select the full, which is form input with the class, not say form with the class, say what, full, right? So we need to say grid column, say column 1, 2, 3. Basically, let's say in here we have a 2 column, right? In just imagine that we have a line, just 1 in here, 2 in here, and 3 in here. Okay, what the mean about grid column 1/3? The meaning is we are gonna start from 1, okay, which is in here, 1, until, let's see, 3, which is 3 right here. We're gonna start from 1 and 2, 3 right here. Okay, so when I save that, now it's gonna be start from 1 and until the 3. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So next, let's styling the button, which is right here, and say form input form button. We need to give a width to 100%. Save, and should be 100% width, right? So let's give a margin, say what the hell, I can't typing anymore. Margin, come on man. Margin 1 rem for the top and 0 for the right, and bottom 2 rem, and the left 0. Save. Now we have space between the bottom and the top. Pretty cool. So let's give a height to 2.5 rem and give a background to secondary color, just secondary color, and just remove the border, say border to none, and say outline to none, and change the color to white, and say, yeah, just text transform to uppercase, and say font weight to bold, and change the cursor to pointer, and give a transition, say all 0.5 second is. Save, and now we have a button, beautiful button. What the, why we have a border red in here? Because I clicked the send button. So let's reload that. Here we go. And see, let's give a hover effect. So form input form what the hell, button, right, and hover. We need to change the background to white and the color to secondary color, and give a border, say 1 pixel solid, and should be secondary color. Save, and now we have the hover effect. Awesome. And yeah, I think is something wrong in here. Oh yeah, we need to styling the like the form box, which is right here. We have a box shadow, and the form box should be pushed to the top. All right, so let's styling that. Say very top in here. Let's say form box. Say give a margin minus let's say 7 RAM for the top, and 2 RAM, say 5 RAM for the bottom, and 2 RAM for the left. And here we go. Let's give a just say box shadow, and it should be 0, 0, 5 pixel and 0, and it should be just say red. And let's looking for color, which is right here. Save, and now we have the box shadow. I'm not really happy with that, so let's change that a little bit. And yeah, I think it's fine. Yeah, let's give a border radius, say border radius, say 5 pixel. Save, and we have a border radius in here. You cannot see that, but we have a little border radius in here. All right, so if you open in desktop version, it's gonna be look like this. It's kind of weird, all right? We're gonna create something like this. Just refresh that. Something like this. So let's do CSS right here, and let's make a comment. It should be large screen. So let's open media and say minimal width to 700 pixel. Let's select the heading for the first, say heading, and we need to change the height to something like 25 RAM. Here we go, and let's make that a little bigger, the H1. So say heading H1, and change the font size to I don't know, 2.5 RAM. Save, and let's take a look. Yeah, fine. And for the form box, we need to give a margin top to minus 10 RAM. Push to the top. Here we go. All right, so, and say form box grid. Let's change the grid template column to 3 right now, which is repeat 3 times 1 fraction, and give a display grid in here. So save, and it's gonna be look like this. We have 1 in here, 2 and 3. We have a 3 column basically. So let's select the form input, say form input, and what we are gonna do is say grid row starting from 1, and grid column is gonna be starting from 1, 2, 3. Okay, before I save that, I just want to show you form input, which is here. It's gonna be starting from 1, which is, this is form input, right? This is form info, this is form input. Okay, this is going to be start from 1, which is right here, to 3, which is 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's gonna be from here to here. Okay, so now save that, And here we go. It's easy like that. So yeah, and for the form info, we need to say create column to starting from 3 to 4. And let's styling the UL right here, which is the lace. Okay, so say form info and another list, and give a margin top to for RAM. And yeah, just styling the this item, we are gonna give a space. So form info ULLI, say margin top to RAM. Save, and yeah, I think we're done. Yeah, right. And wait, what the hell is going on right here? Okay, so go to the, where's that email, right? Where's my email? uh Save, and here we go. But let's implement the animation. Okay, it's so really easy, guys. Just make that a little bigger so you can see everything. And inside the form box right here, we just need to give a class called animate, and the animate name, which is checks in the box. Okay, check in the box. Save, and now I believe we have the animation. No, it's not work. What happening? It's not Jackie. Should be Jack, not Jack. I really. So let's see. All right, so let's reload, and we have the animation. All right. Yeah, cool. I think that's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoy it, and yeah, bye.